Okay, just wanted to make a little video about a few things we just found on the beach. We're here on the beach today visiting our good friends Alberto and Dylan. It was his birthday yesterday, Valentine's Day. It's going to be our Hazel's birthday soon. They're both 7, they were born within a few weeks of each other. And see, we were just walking along the beach doing a bit of beach combing. I wanted to collect a bunch of shells to take back for Hazel and Blue. And I was finding these shells with perfect little holes in. I'm gonna have a bit closer look here, Ollie. Ollie's my cameraman today. Look at these shells. They've got perfect holes, like they've been drilled in the shell. But these holes, it looks like somebody's dropped a necklace that they've made, and the string has come off them, and so that's what it must be. But in fact, these perfect little holes are drilled by another shell. These mollusks are bivalves, like mussels. These are little cockles and telins. In Italy here they're called vongole. These ones here are called vongole, and they make delicious spaghetti and stuff with them. But another snail, these ones here, look. This snail here, which is a univalve or just one shell, this is a predatory snail that eats these guys. And it uses a little tongue, it's called a radula. And it's got a little abrasive end to the tongue. And it just goes with this little tongue. It coughs, it spits out some abrasive acids from its stomach, and that helps weaken the shell while it's drilling the hole. And then once it's made the hole, it puts the acids inside the shell to help kill the animal and dissolve it, so that it can then just suck it all up. And that's what they eat, these predatory snails. They're called moon snails, I think. The interesting thing about these and these that have got the perfect holes is that I find them 100 kilometers inland here in Tuscany where we live. We find them there, but they're fossils. 3 million year old shells of exactly the same species pretty much that were living 3 million years ago here. Not a huge part of Tuscany used to be the sea 3 million years ago, and so that there's thousands and thousands of fossil seashells, but also fossilized whale was found just close to our house, and many other fossils, incredible fossils. We went to a fossil museum recently in Scandicci, close to our house. Me and Oliver, a good friend of ours, Terry, took us there, and yeah, it was an amazing museum. All these fossils that people have found, crabs, you name it, dolphins, whales, and dugong. And this is really interesting because there's no dugong now in the Mediterranean, but there used to be lots of dugong because there's lots of seagrass. Now this stuff here that's all washed up, it's not seaweed, it's not algae, it's a seagrass, and dugong love to eat them, that stuff. And there's huge, vast meadows of it here in the Mediterranean. And so I was thinking today there must have been dugong, and in fact then I remembered seeing a dugong fossil in the museum. And so yeah, there was dugong here in the Mediterranean, and then they died out a long time ago. I don't know if it's from the Ice Age or from a volcanic winter or whatever. For some reason or other they died out from the Mediterranean completely a long time ago. So another thing I wanted to show you guys is these balls. Look at these. Amazing balls that get washed up along the beach. Sometimes there's thousands and thousands of them. But these balls, again, you'd think they were man-made or something very strange, or maybe some creature made them as an egg case or something. But these are just made from all this fibrous seagrass, all the fibers that are in here. The wave action of them being in the sea, it works like felting. And so the sea rolls these backwards and forwards until they start to knit together, and then they form these balls, these perfect little balls. They get squashed a lot along the way, but a lot of them are just perfect balls like this. They're amazing. I made necklaces out of them a while ago. You can treat them, colour them, make necklaces with them. You can play marbles, or you can bowl with them on the beach. You can juggle with them. Nature's balls, nature's toys. It's great. And one more thing that I wanted to show you guys is this. Look at this. Looks like a pile of sheep poo or something. But this is a kind of seaweed. And I've never seen that seaweed before. Very strange. Anyway, I can't tell you what this is, what species it is, because I've never seen it before. So this is something new. It's why I love going beach combing. You're always finding some new things, and then if you take the time to go home and check out what it is, then you learn something new, and sometimes something very useful. So yeah, this is a weird new kind of seaweed for me. Amazing thing. So I'll go back now and I'll check out what this is, look it up online and try and discover what kind of seaweed this is. Anyway, a few things I just wanted to share with you guys. I don't think I missed anything out. That's cool. Oh, also I was finding, of course, I did miss something out. Also I was finding little plastic beads. So I can take these shells home for hazel and blue with the perfect holes in them, and they can make necklaces with them. And I'm also finding little plastic beads to put between them to make spaces between the shells, so we don't have to buy beads, because this is a big problem. Plastic, huge problem. I can make wooden beads, of course. A little bit tricky. I don't have a drill at the moment, and so it's a little bit tricky to make wooden beads for me at the moment. But I'm finding them on the beach so they can use them as well. And of course there's plastic everywhere, even on the most remote beaches I've been to on the planet. They're full of plastic, very sadly. Some very tiny pieces of plastic, which are a massive problem to nature because they swallow it. Now it's killing whales and birds and everything in huge quantities, very sadly. Big, huge problem. A problem that we're all responsible for. We can't point the finger at plastic companies. We're all buying that plastic. And so we are responsible. We need to learn to wean ourselves off the plastic that we buy. There are alternatives. There are some very good videos, inspiring videos on YouTube about people that have gone plastic free altogether. It's not easy. Me and Deb have been trying to do it over the years, and we have made some progress, but it's still very tricky. The supermarkets, virtually every single product in there has plastic in it. And not many people can afford to not shop in the supermarket, because that's the trap, that's the cheapest food, and so most of us have to go there because we're spending all the rest of the money on bills and rent and medical bills or whatever it is that we're having to spend our hard-earned money on. So yeah, of course we look for the food in the cheapest places we can. Now we're learning to get our food from nature and grow it, etc., etc. But that's also not easy, and for a lot of people it's nigh on impossible. So yeah, plastic. Some tiny little pieces of plastic, but look here. Also some very large pieces of plastic. Very sad, but if I lived here I would spend a lot of time going along the beaches cleaning up the plastic. The Comune, which is the council here, the government body, their answer to this plastic problem along the beaches is to go along with a tractor, with a plough, and just scoop up the whole tide line, which is very, very harmful to the environment, because these tide lines are incredibly important for, it's a habitat. It's a very important part of the ecosystem. There's all sorts of creatures living in all this stuff. Important for birds, important for all the little things that are in there, sandhoppers and little crabs and all sorts of things. Thousands of little things that live along the tide line. Foxes come down and eat along the tide line. Wolves. If you go 100 kilometers south of here, there's wolves that go on a couple of the more remote beaches there, scavenging along the tide line for anything that might have been washed up dead. So yeah, it's an important part of the ecosystem. Scooping it all up into huge piles, digging a big hole and putting it in it is not a good solution, but as is normal for government bodies, they tend to, it seems like they don't care, or they're completely ignorant of the damage they're doing. One way or another, it's not a good practice. So anyway, just wanted to show you that. Thanks so much. Thank you, Oliver, for making the video. Gorgeous day in Tuscany. Look at the mountains here. That's the Apuane. Here we're in Vireggio at the moment, right on the coast in Tuscany, near Forte dei Marmi. This place in the summer is full of thousands of people with umbrellas, of course, etc. So this is a nice time of the year to come here. February. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. Glorious sunshine. It's like a summer's day here for a Brit. Stunning. Anyway, ciao. Thanks a lot.